Good morning. Hello. We are live. umbraCoffee episode 240. Marcin's away. He's moving house. He's finally moving into the house he's been building for 2 years. So instead, I'm joined by two very knowledgeable people on Umbraco 10.2, which we're going to be talking about today. Hey, Seb. Hey, Bjarke.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Nice to have you. How are you both?
Thank you. Good, as always, I like to say.
Amazing. Cool. Well, we're going to be talking about some exciting Umbraco announcements this week. I will admit I've been off for 10 plus days. I have no idea what happened in the community really in that time. So I'm going to rely on both of you to sort of help me. Let's see how this goes. But yeah, packed week with meetups, releases, all kinds of other great things. People in the chat, let us know how your week was too, if you're up to anything exciting, and equally, if there's any news we miss.
I was about to start tapping in the chat, but I realized I'm on already. So
yeah, you're perfectly welcome to. It proves that we're live and this isn't. Or is it? I was just going to say last week, I see Lars Eric's in the chat. Lars Eric stood in for me last week, and then I received an invoice via email for his time. He wants Did
you pay it in trees?
I could do that. That's a good idea, actually. I said I'd pay him in beer, but maybe trees is a nice idea too. Awesome. Okay, let's dive into some news. So, and this is really where I'm going to need your help, because I understand there's a new release, or a new release candidate, Umbraco 10.2, which includes lots and lots of exciting things like permissions for language variants, this save and variant properties thing, which I think I kind of understand, but maybe someone can explain it better. Read-only mode property editors, which, again, I've got something on that looked really cool. A whole bunch of bug fixes, everything like that. So I don't know. Where do we start with this? What should we talk about?
Yeah, but they're all related, actually. So the feature to bring permissions for language variants needed some of the other things. So let's jump into the save invariant properties on all languages. So as we write here, it's a very likely scenario that if you limit some users from managing the default language, you can't save the invariant properties anymore. So before, or if you turn off this feature, the setting, then you will only save the invariant, so the shared properties, when you save and publish the default language. But it's likely now you only have access to a non-default language. So in my opinion, and I don't know the history why it was designed like this, but I think this is the right design of the feature, and this is also why we, on new projects, will turn this setting into true, and we also plan to change the default behavior in next major version. Okay, so this is a setting currently that people have to set and opt into if you're upgrading to 10.2, which, as you're saying, will mean that so basically, if I have a site with English as the default language and I have Danish, and I only have access to the Danish language as an editor, I can now change the values of the invariant properties on the Danish. And of course, it will reflect on all languages because it's invariant and thereby shared.
I see.
And when I publish, it will, change the value on all the languages. Makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Cool. And I see Lars in the chat saying he's really happy about this because that's been broken for them too for a while. So,
I think he was the one pointing out that it was a bug or wrong by design. But cool. It was by design, but I don't know the history why. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, makes sense. Very nice.
We have a surprise appearance today.
Yes. Hello, Kim. I don't think he can hear us either, but hello. Awesome. Cool. So basically, this is the language variants improvements release, isn't it? And I believe Sebastiaan has a demo maybe lined up for us that we can.
I can show up a little.
We can take a look at to see how this works in practice.
Yep. So I've installed RC 10.2 RC with whole seals clean starter kit. I have a blog here, and the blog for.
You need to speak directly into your mic, Seb.
It's multilingual. I'll move down here. The blog is multilingual. So all of these have Dutch, because that's what I'm okay at. And,
We still can't hear you, Seb.
English.
You need to speak directly into the mic.
Yeah. Let me just change my mic. My audio. There, I'll try to head. No, that's the wrong headphones. Better sound now.
I mean, it's worse quality. We don't have the bassiness of your voice, but it's definitely clearer. Thanks.
Oh, good. I've lost my browser now. It's the wrong screen. No. Where is my browser gone? Ah, okay. So I need to keep it on this screen because I was playing that screen. Very good.
This proves it live.
We're back.
Otherwise,
exactly. Very good. So yes, I have a blog that's both in English and in Dutch because I'm reasonably good at Dutch. And I'm currently logged in as the admin who has access to everything. But I've created a new user group, and that's the new feature here, which is NL editors, Dutch editors. By default, you get access to all languages when you create a new user group, but you can limit it to one or multiple languages. So I could also give myself access to English if I wanted to, but this group will only have permissions to update the Dutch language in the content. So let me just.
Everyone can edit every language unless you opt them out.
So that's backwards compatible. Everyone has access to everything, and then you can start limiting if you want to. So if we log out and log in as a Dutch editor, then the whole interface will also change into Dutch, which is amazing for everybody viewing who doesn't speak any Dutch. So in-house is now content. So what we have here is blog posts. This one is a blog post that I've actually only made in Dutch so far. So the English version doesn't even exist yet. And you can't see it, but I've clicked here and I'm trying to type here. I'm not allowed, so all of this is not editable for me. So everything is off limits. But what I could do, if I'm, for example, if I have already got a Dutch, an English one, I could actually copy paste stuff into here. But it doesn't work the other way around. So it's not allowed to actually put stuff back. So that could be useful if you have languages that are very similar to each other. Most of the time, I would say you just want to start with typing your own thing. So yeah, all of these things are not editable. You can see the date picker it doesn't have a select thing either, and I cannot click it either. And then what we talked about, the common properties over here. So these are in my document type. They are invariant. So when I hover here, I get like kind of a warning here that says edit. Do you want to edit this for all languages? And when I do, all languages, it will actually update here, but I still can't edit it here. I can only edit it where I'm using it at the moment. I think that's like the basics of it.
It's really cool.
Did I miss anything? Did I forget anything?
I don't think so, but it's nice. Now you can actually publish a site in Dutch only, including invariant properties. Before you had to kind of hack it, publish the default one, and unpublish it afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. So this one has a URL now, and I can actually see that the English one says not created yet. And I don't know if I can create it. Let's see. No, I can't because I cannot add a title, so I'm not allowed to publish it at all, which is good. So the English doesn't exist, but the Dutch does exist, and they're now separate from each other, which is good.
Very nice. That's very powerful, and yeah, I can see how this will definitely make editors' lives easier, make it clearer about what you can and can't edit. So that's really cool. And then, of course, there was one other feature in here that's sort of not mentioned explicitly and isn't something that people are going to see surfaced maybe all too often, but is what's underpinning all of this, which is this idea of read-only properties.
The read-only properties, yeah. So we put that in the blog post somewhere. Oh no, I lost the blog post. Never mind. Yep.
I can do that. The blog post is here. So this is the read-only mode for properties. So it's like effectively a flag on the iData editor, which is underpinning most property editors in the CMS, and it's saying, this effectively, if that's true, you cannot edit that property, and the UI in the back office correctly grades that out. And I assume there would then be some kind of validation against that as well on the back end, or is it just a UI flag?
To be honest, I can't remember. But the thing is, if the property editor do not support this read-only mode, then we put on an overlay so you can't edit on the UI. But it's not an optimal solution, because in that case you can't copy paste like Sebastiaan just showcased. But this is one of the features we really would like people to test out in the release candidate. I tested out with my own package with a map, and it turned out the OpenStreetMap zoom and zoom out buttons had a higher
Z-index.
set level or whatever, and it was just a weird implementation. But we figured out a way to work for that property editor. Hopefully it works for everyone, but please test out.
The fix there is just to set the Z-index like 99999. Is it? No.
It was not enough. It was also something about what div.
Lovely. And that's
that
cool.
was too much front end to me.
So is this now a checkbox that appears on every data type effectively, or is it something we have to set programmatically?
It's something you have to set programmatically. So you're not saying it is read-only. You're saying this property editor supports read-only.
Yeah. That's really cool.
And then you need to implement the read-only mode, of course.
Yeah. Oh, very, very nice. Okay. I can see that being particularly useful. I pointed this out on Twitter, and I see it's flagged in the blog post here, but it's really, really cool to see how this was implemented. So iData editor is an interface that's used widely by every property editor. And so by adding a new property to that, it's a breaking change. However, you're able to mitigate that breaking change by using a C#8 language feature, only something that we're now able to do because we're on .NET Core and we've got all of these exciting things, and we're keeping up to date with that .NET version. So you have a default implementation, a default value on the interface, so people don't have to implement that property.
It's actually a feature we have used quite often already. It's amazing. I don't think in the past we couldn't implement such a complex feature without making any breaking changes.
Yeah, that's really cool. And of course, it means if someone wants to take advantage of that in their package, they need to minimum target 10.2, but it means that it's not going to break anyone's site or existing packages from working on 10.2 if they don't need to or don't want to support that feature.
Exactly. And in the future, we don't think any packages will have to support multiple .NET versions. So you can kind of use the target frameworks as what version of Umbraco. And because there is no breaking changes, it should be okay for everybody to update to the latest patch or minor on major versions. So hopefully people can use this feature in the packages too.
Very cool. That's really awesome. So 10.2 release candidate is out now. I guess it's a 2-week, as always, release candidate period. So go test it out. Go give your feedback. I know that Seb's tested it out this morning by getting that demo working. So
we already had some feedback from Perplex and the U Marketing Suite, because they're using the segment part of variants. That is super valuable, and we hope and expect we fixed the issues they had, but of course, the more testing, the better.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, go test it out. Go give your feedback. We had some other releases this week too. I think I saw this one from Lee Kelleher. We have Contentment v 4.1.2, which is a bunch of bug fixes to the various data types and mostly UI level things, I think. So great work from Lee there. We also have an update to the Limbo and Umbraco Models Builder package, another alpha for V10 if you'd like to go test that one out.
Anders also released I think it's a new package, which is also under the Limbo name, a rich text editor, and I cannot remember what it did that was special.
I'm wondering if this was
RTE
I
or something.
I thought I saw something like that, and then I couldn't find it. Let's have a little look. This is on. Oh, and of course, it's ordered by popularity. That's really unhelpful. Yeah, there was something rich text editor based. Maybe that was last week. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it brings it. It's on our. So if you search Limbo RTE, extended functionality to TinyMCE, adding property editors.
Yeah, that is from this week. I don't know why I didn't find that. So yeah, that looks really cool. That looks really cool. This concept is something they've had in other packages before.
Yeah, okay.
Where it's like a way of manipulating the values as they come out of the property editor, I think.
That's how it works. Okay, that's really cool.
But I think the example there with external links in a new window is really cool. Really, really
that's
cool.
super nice. Yeah.
From an SEO point of view, or like add some alt text to the image that's been embedded, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very nice.
And as Jeroen says, Umbraco 10 also 10.2 has improvements for external login providers.
I forgot to mention that. It is in the show notes, so I'm not sure why I didn't. Loads of fixes there, which I know Jeroen's been working quite hard on testing and reviewing, and also copy data types from Patrick de Mooij.
Oh yeah.
He's done loads of work there around that. So really, really cool.
Patrick is turning into Mr. Copy now. Copy everything.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, it's a really exciting release then coming up.
Yeah.
Speaking of exciting things, meetups. You had a Copenhagen meetup this week, I understand, and Sebastiaan, you were there, and you gave a talk, as did Mikkel and Martin. How was that? The first in-person one in a while.
I know, it's my first in-person one since 2 years, 3 years almost. It was really good. It was at Knowit in Copenhagen. There was about, I think, 16, 17 people there. I had a chat.
I must say more people than signed up came, which is really nice. It's usually the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Most times people drop off. So it's good. I talked about contributing to Umbraco. As my colleague said, that's a lot of things that Sebastiaan is not good at. It's not what this slide was supposed to mean, by the way. But so the message was, you're good at something, so we can use your help in any way you can give help. That was fun. Then Martin and Mikkel talked about the evolution of our cloud setup. Literally from 0 to hero. So going from our old cloud, all the VMs that I once installed to now infrastructure as a service and everything being decoupled and scalable, and it's actually a really good story. If you haven't seen this, this was an evolution of their Code Garden talk. If you haven't seen this talk at the Code Garden, go watch it. It actually explains all the wonderful things we had to do to make cloud work better, scale better, and now we have in beta a US data center.
I did think am I right that it launches next week?
I know you're going to get another axe probably.
I know Jason Prothero this week was asking on Twitter. I'm in that beta program testing the 2 cloud platforms and saying, well, how do I actually measure the impact for a real user on using the European one? Because Azure is so well connected in terms of net backbones. There's going to be a bit of a latency from the US to Europe, but probably minimal.
It'll be the light speed latency, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think it's launching soon. I don't know the official date. So
I know it's coming soon.
But the good thing about this was that in theory we can copy those scripts and have a Australian data center in minutes instead of months.
Yeah, it's like once you've done it once, you can do it 1,000 times. It's the getting things replicatable or scaled, and then adding it becomes quite easy. Exactly. Relatively easy comparatively.
Yeah,
very cool. Whilst we're talking about cloud and those sorts of things, I had an article that I saw shared earlier this week, actually, that I was going to just mention, which is really cool. So people don't really get to see behind the scenes of Azure all that much. And I know Umbraco Cloud runs on app services. And previously they used effectively Azure Web Apps is like a big farm of servers and for compute power, and a big farm of storage. And you kind of connect to an available host, which connects to the storage, which runs the application. And then there's a massive routing layer over the top to make sure it can route people to the right server. And this is really interesting. So previously that routing layer was all lots and lots of IaaS instances using ARR, which is application request routing. I think it's existed in IaaS for years and years. And this article documents how the .NET and the Azure team at Microsoft came together to make this a lot more efficient. I think they say here 80% improved throughput and performance, massive reduction in CPU as well. And they're using Kestrel, which is obviously the .NET web server that ships in the .NET platform, and YARP, which is yet another reverse proxy. It's a reverse proxy tool, again, for .NET. And there's loads of improvements that have come from this migration to that platform that have already been baked into the .NET platform. So in .NET 6.05 or something like that, they've actually got all of the improvements that they've learned from running Kestrel and YARP at such a big scale, and that's all been fed back in. So this article will be down below. I really enjoyed reading this one as a kind of, they've .NETified all of their Azure infrastructure, which is very, very cool, and hopefully results in a CPU saving at some point. So either they can reduce costs or reduce environmental impact by running this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. All righty, back on meetups. Barbecue supposed to be happening today in Leeds. The wonderful Leeds crew will be taking good care of people. I think there's 25 odd people signed up, and should be a good event. Last one of the summer, and the weather looks like it's holding out. So awesome job there. Lots of meetups coming up. In fact, next week the Wessex meetup team are hosting a talk on Vite or Vite or however that's supposed to be pronounced. I know this is
French, so you're supposed to say Vite.
All right, okay, Vite. I thought that was like a hair removal cream, but
yes.
So this is Jason's going to do a talk about using Vite plus Umbraco as a way of kind of modernizing your front end process. It's something we've been doing internally, and it's a really cool way you can actually have it kind of proxy back to your .NET app, and makes the process really nice. And I know Umbraco is going to be using this in the core for the new back office, or are already using this as the build. So,
this is also online. I might have to join this.
Yeah, there's a hybrid element to this too. So that should be really exciting. Next, Bristol is back in person again. They've I think it's they're back in person. They are being hosted by the wonderful Great State team, and there's going to be some talks. Not quite sure what those are just yet. That's on the 7th. On the 8th, we've got London back in person as well. We have another exciting DevOpsy talk from Matthew Hart, and a second one that we're not allowed to say anything about yet, so that's fine.
Come on, Callum, you know, you can spill it.
I'm not going to get in more trouble today. But yeah, another one. We've done one in person already this year. It's good to be back. So, yep. Sydney, hybrid again, but also in person. I don't think the Nikolais are going to be there, sadly. That's very good. And another in person. Manchester's going back in person with. You're already doing DXP in the middle of September. There's loads of others as well. I mean, there's going to be a Minneapolis meetup a week or so after that, a New York meetup a week or so after that. I know, Bjarke, you're talking at a meetup in Stockholm.
Yeah, in the mid of October.
I think it was the 25th. I'll make sure the link's down below for that one as well. So yeah, lots of meetups going on, lots of things back in person. Really, really cool. I think that's it for the meetups. Oh, we can talk about events. Dutch Festival is coming up in, I think it's the US Summit is in 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah. And then we have the Dutch Festival this side of the world, the first thing that we'll be seeing. First community in a while.
October 7th,
Yeah, October 7th. And we've got the first batch of speakers.
Nice.
I know a few more from this list, which will be really exciting to see when that comes out. But yeah, it's looking like a really good lineup already. Yeah, I look forward to being there. Carl's mentioned in the chat, and I didn't know if this was announced yet, so it's not included, but he's doing a Docker community talk as well about Umbraco and running Docker with Umbraco. So that should be cool. September 1st, and it's going to be online. So go check that one out. Okay, last few things we've got. Apparently, we have to promote this, Seb. I don't know what it is. Could you explain?
Yes, we want to know a bit more about who you all are, and seeing if we can reach all the, as Hanselman calls it, dark matter developers, and seeing what they do without us knowing that they do anything. We're looking to figure out what are your biggest problems at the moment, what are your biggest problems with Umbraco of all time even. We want to know what kind of community things you have joined or know about, those kinds of things. So Warren set up this one. It's built on Umbraco forms and Umbraco web UI, web components.
Yeah.
So he's been working on this. There was a slight little bug in there that Safari didn't support, something interesting. But that's now fixed. So actually, it was good to dog food web UI, web components, and find a bug that we didn't notice until now. So yeah, that's fixed.
Very cool. Very cool.
So please fill it in and let us know who you are and what you're doing and why, and we'll compile all of this into a report and have a sort of state of the developer community.
It's been a good 5+ years, hasn't it? Because I know Ilham did one of these way back. It's been a long time.
It's been too long. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, this is linked everywhere. It's on it's in the back office on the starter dashboard. It's on Twitter. But there'll be a link down below also. So really exciting. I'm sad to see umbraCoffee's not on the list of how'd you contribute. Anyway, it's fine.
Warren is watching.
Yeah.
Add it.
And also this "Do you love Umbraco" is a very low, isn't it? It's like yes, no, or well, yeah, sort of, but you kind of have to say yeah. Anyway,
it's a good scale, right?
Yeah, it's a good scale. Cool, awesome. Great blog post this week from my colleague Joe. Talked about a kind of a cheat sheet for the magical template variables you can use when in Angular in the back office. So these are Angular filters, and he also shared how to create a custom one if you'd like to do something special. Really, really cool. Again, would be a great docs PR, wouldn't it? This video cropped up this week, Henk, and I didn't know he was recording these videos, but actually his YouTube channel is packed full of sort of community interviews when he goes to events. So here he recorded Suzanne and Emma having a catch up at Code Garden about the friendly community, how to get more people involved, and it was a really, really nice listen. I listened to that the other day when I was doing some work. So go check that one.
Emma looks scared, but she does.
I think it's
up
just
after this.
Brain definitely looks happier further on. There
we go.
Yes,
that was a really good chat, and Emma was happy to be interviewed. She's like, "Oh, this was good. I knew all the answers to the questions."
Yesterday's Umbraco Lab was debugging, and actually, if I'd seen this at the time, I would have maybe joined or tried. This is something that's bugged me too. I know that Jeroen shared on Twitter he's been copying the kind of DLLs and the PDB files over as a way of then debugging, and that's definitely not
the problem he had was that he wanted to create a pull request for Umbraco, but he needed to test his changes against his actual custom website that he'd already built, and couldn't quite figure out how to do that. So I didn't know how to do it either. It used to be really easy in .NET Framework, where you just build Umbraco, copy in the PDBs, DLLs, site will restart, and you can start attaching to the process. So we found two ways. None of them are super satisfactory, but one of them was better than the other. So first way is build Umbraco, generate all the new packages, and then install that into your custom Umbraco site. then you can start debugging against it. Yeah, that's cumbersome. The other way we found was to, instead of when you clone the Umbraco source code, you just have the Umbraco Web UI project, which is just an Umbraco website, right? So we try to instead add the CS branch of the custom website into the Umbraco source code. That worked, except for a little problem with Models Builder. It threw errors, so we had to exclude the Models Builder CS files that were generated. And then we could actually do it. That was actually very, very workable. And
that approach, how big your solution is, like if you had 10 projects.
So it doesn't actually matter how big the solution is, because you only attached or only add the web project to the Umbraco source code.
Just adding a
reference to
that other project.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So
nice. In the Umbraco source code, you add existing project, which is your custom project. We got that to work. It's still not like the ideal thing, because then the solution file updates. So when you start committing stuff, then you might forget that there was a solution file update, and that will be in your PR. But at least it was a much better experience than having to wait for the new package to build.
Very cool. Very cool. So that's all on video, of course. Maybe something that will feed back into the docs as well.
So I'll write a blog post about this and see if people have some feedback on how we can do this even better. That would be the ideal, and then we can start adding it to the documentation.
Awesome. Very cool. And it looks like you had a load of people join as well. So
it was good. Lots of feedback.
Very nice. Okay, and the last thing I had on my list was Abdulaziz has joined the Coma team as a new web developer. So he's now helping out, I guess, with the kind of the umbraco.com and the community site and all those sorts of things. Any web development needs. Very exciting. If you want to read his story, there'll be a link down below. And that is everything I had on the list. Maybe I missed something. If I did, please let me know in the chat, and I'll make sure it's either included in next week or in the links below. But cool. I think that was everything, right?
Yeah,
that's about right.
Call to actions, of course. Go test out 10.2, provide feedback, and let's make that as stable and lovely as all of the other releases have been.
Exactly.
And the most important action: go like and subscribe. I don't know where we're at, but we're still nowhere near those 1,000 subscribers we tried to force everyone to give us at Code Garden. So please help us out. It would be cool. We're coming up to 5 years. I need to come up with some ideas of what to do there.
Oh,
yeah. Awesome.
Great.
Thank you both for joining, especially
of course.
last minute, and helping me work out what had been going on this week whilst I've been off.
Nice.
And if we missed anything, let me know. Thank you. We'll see you all next week, and have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye-bye.